So, look, I would like to welcome everybody to this first, the inaugural, basically video version of Old Man Howlin' at the Moon. Dave was going to be with us. He couldn't, some stuff's up. But, look, if I was going to have anybody on I wanted to do anything with, it was my man over here to the left, Mr. Shane Embury. Shane, how are you doing today?
Okay, it's they give out rain in England. Surprise, surprise, and it's not raining
Nice.
too much. No, it's not actually. It's not too bad. Which is we've had, I would say, probably the first reasonable summer in a long time. So it's
Nice.
been okay. My family's in Japan, and I've been yeah, day by day, as they say. It's been all right. You know.
Hey, so let's start off with the music. You have a million different projects going on right now. Right now, you have Dark Sky Burial. You have the new project you're doing with Dirk, the grindcore stuff.
Then see,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, why don't you tell people about everything you got going on right now? Because, dude, you have so much stuff going on right now.
Well, I think what happens with me, particularly, and probably other like-minded, insane people, is that the Ben C was is Dirk's project really, and as a friend of mine, good friend of mine, he's played on the Tronos records with me
Right.
and Blood from the Soul. So I sort of repay the compliment, and compliment. Yeah, we just did play bass on that, but it was done a few years ago, and it's only just coming out now. So you do these things in the background constantly,
Right.
or I tend to anyway, and they come out. Like, I mean, when COVID kicked in, finally they in September of 2020 they released the Napalm album, and then Insidious Disease album came out, the Blood from the Soul album came out, and all at the same time. I was going, "Are you guys insane?" It's like, so people get confused, but yeah, I've got lots of stuff going on. I suppose. I mean, the Dark Sky stuff's always continually going on. I've got with the electronic thing, whatever it's going to be. I've still got loads of like loops from years ago that I've yet to keep on working on. Plus, I want to take it into a heavier direction on a few
Really?
albums, so more kind of like slower esque songs on Napalm Death Records, the weird guitars, sort of Godfleshy Swans kind of vibe.
Sure.
So there's all kinds of stuff going on.
That's
Really.
cool.
Yeah.
Because look, anyone that follows you on social media knows, I mean, you are a very eclectic person when it comes to your musical tastes. And I mean, I personally love it at the moment because you are posting so many cool, just off the wall, a lot of times like MIDI controllers, but also things that are making their own electronic instruments, these DIY instruments people are making absolutely bonkers stuff, man. I love that stuff.
I just yeah, it's uh, I think it's sort of complements. Is that the right word? It goes alongside the fact that I'm 57
Yeah.
and life is here. It's happening every day.
Right.
Sometimes it's not as good. Sometimes it is.
Sure.
And sometimes for me, I can you can wake up in a not so bad mood or a terrible mood, and a track by a band will totally change that mood within like 10 seconds for me.
Right.
And that's a good thing. You have to embrace it.
Of
You know?
course.
And my wife sometimes gets annoyed at 8 a.m. She's like, "You're playing that bleep and blop music again. What's going on?" And I'm like, "It's cheering me up. It's not a bad thing. I'm smiling. You'd rather be smiling, be grumpy.
Of
Uh,
course.
so, and that just kind of is it is. So I come, I mean, the Instagram thing, yeah, you got the social media thing. It can be a very addictive. Of course, it can. But if I see somebody like I saw, I think it was a bunch of Indonesians playing the gamelan
Oh,
earlier today.
yes.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "This is insane," and I just have to share it, and I get a kick out of it all. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the one thing. Look, you've always been one of those people, even with Napalm, that, you've always worn the shirts, you've always been doing your own thing, where everyone else would have been wearing Obituary or Morbid Angel or all these death metal grindcore shirts. You always wore your influences on your sleeves and what you liked, and you never seemed to have any qualms about what you did.
Well, no, no. I mean, I like what I like, but I also like to share that.
Of course.
It's even. I mean, certainly. Excuse me. Back in the sort of the period where Napalm was sort of transpiring from being more grindcore to death metal.
Right.
We were like, I remember talking to Matt Harvey from Exhumed, and he was always saying, "Well, one thing you guys always said, well, I'm into my Massacre, I'm into my Obituary, I'm into my Atheist, I'm into like
Right,
Obituary," and it was just like, well, yeah, because these bands are great, and you want other people to know them.
right.
And now, I've splintered off into. I mean, I like all kinds of mad stuff. I just get excited by it, and I want somebody else to hear this, somebody else to go, well, listen to this. This is crackers. Check it out. It's in a good way. And of course, with the journey into the synthesis stuff, which I'm not an expert at all. I'm totally learning. Um, it's something that I sidetracked probably in 1993,
Right.
really, for Napalm in a way.
Sure.
Basically, but I had an Atari ST and a really old program with Cubase, and I was starting to get into it. My friend's Atari broke down. He goes, "Can I borrow yours?" And that was it. I never saw it again. Which I tried to remind him, like, you know, all those movie soundtracks you got. You couldn't give your old mate a little foot in the door. Then no, okay, well, I know how it goes. You know, it's hard. And so that was that. So now I'm sort of making up for lost time in a way. So there's so many crazy instruments that come out. And of course, I have an addictive personality, obviously. And so, I like that. I like that. And now I've got put myself into such a corner where it's going to take me about I have to isolate like a hobbit for like 3 years and just play around with them all. But
Right.
but that's really enjoyable because it's not even about making records. It's just about playing around with these things,
Making noises.
making noises. And I mean, some guy said that sounds like the Doctor Who. And I'm like, exactly. Exactly. It takes me back to when I was 6 years old, and I'm pretending to be a Dalek. It's totally fine.
Of course.
In my world, anyway. Maybe not anybody else's. My daughter gets pretty upset. She's like, "God, Dad, you're gonna grow up." I'm like, "No."
No,
Um,
why?
why? Why would I attempt to do that now? So yeah. Wherever I'm going with that
No,
conversation.
look, it's true, and there's something very addictive to playing with and making soundscapes and doing that stuff. And it's something you get lost in it. I mean, I'll do it. I'll open, I'll open Logic Pro and I'll bring up some synths, and next thing I know, I have some soundscape going, and I look down, and it's been 4 hours. You know,
It's very therapeutic. Some of the Soma stuff that I've been getting into, some of their instruments, the Terror and the Flux. Again, it's like this. It's you have to work a bit harder, I think, as opposed to like say sound libraries. But for someone like me who's trying to learn, it's really encouraging. But it's also very therapeutic. My sister does a lot of like aromatherapy and massages and goes to sound baths and stuff like that.
sure.
And so it's kind of weird that's linked to like meditation and tones and
Oh, very much.
sound healing, which in turn, I think it comes to down to your mental health as well. It's like there's something for me. These things they're not they're synchronicities. As
Sure.
Jung would say this, they look for the synchronicities.
Right.
And I see these things happening. I'm going, well, on the surface, maybe the eclectic music and the synthesis seems like, okay, it's an extension of the music, but it's going more than that for me. It's
Right.
going more towards helping me unravel me, really.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
And look, you actually just went out to a festival not too long ago too, didn't you?
Well, that's been quite nice. My friend from Australia, Paul, is
Right.
over. Paul Hogue. He's one of the Hogue twins, which a lot of the metal bands might know from Australia. There's Paul and Andrew, and Paul's one of half of them. And so he's over here, we're hanging out, and so just taking him around. We're going to festivals. The Bloodstock, I was only going to do one day, but then I forgot my Mastodon were playing, and I was like, oh God, I better go say hello to them. So I had a good chat with Bill and stuff, and it's been nice to go. And then the Arctangent Festival, which was about a week later, I think, and it
Right.
was my chance to see Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum,
Right.
because I was like, well, oh God, it's about 3 hours to go. If I don't go, I'll never see them.
Right. Sure. Of
They,
course.
they rarely ever play, and I got to say hello to them, so I was kind of fanboying out. And through a good friend of mine, Becky, she introduced me to Emma Ruth Rundell, which I really like her music too. I thought it was Emma, but I was too shy to say, "Are you Emma?" And it was. So we had a good chat, and so it's been good. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been
So
nice.
has it been nice getting out to the festivals and not having to play them? I mean, it's a completely different experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I mean, of course, because I've had some issues with drinking over the past few years. and I've been dipping my toe in and out of that. And after the last escapade, I'm really hopefully on a good, what I say, a good track.
Sure.
It's been interesting to look at festivals in a different angle.
Yeah.
I spent so many years with all my other friends from bands just getting hammered or whatever. So
Sure.
it's good to look at it from a more clearer point of view, and you pick out bits that you think work for you and bits that don't. I mean, the Bloodstock was great because it's just down the road from me. It's not even an hour's drive.
Right.
So we pop in, say hello, and then we be back for 9, 10 o'clock. Time to feed my cats. So it was all right. It's been pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the nice thing, right?
so it's been okay, and it's quite a grounding thing for me because I've been taking a bit of a break from the Napalm shows,
Right.
and so that's been nice. And just trying to put things in balance, really, I suppose. I'm the only one with a family, as in no, that's not true. As in like kids, really. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, yeah. Of course.
So it's been pretty difficult for me to sort of, especially since COVID, to sort of dance in and out. Not you just get that level of grounding. So I'm taking a bit of time away to sort of concentrate on that really and get myself healthier. Really,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
So people that have listened to the, Pete being Pete, when I had you on there, we definitely talked about mental health a lot, me and you. And when we've hung out, we've talked about it. Um, you've gone through some stuff lately, and I mean, I know you're on a better place now and you're on a better road now, but last time we'd had you on Pete being Pete was right before the Napalm stuff happened, and right before the tour started, and you were kind of optimistic. Obviously, that didn't go quite as well as you'd hoped, but do you see yourself maybe wanting to get back out there at some point and tour again, or do you think you're in a place where it's just better for you not to be doing that anymore?
What was interesting. Interesting is the wrong word, but I think challenging for me to
Challenge.
realise was a couple of times I'd gone out. You think I thought, well, I'm okay. I've got this nailed because I hadn't drank for a long time,
Right.
a long time. Found I've had pancreatitis a couple of times, so and it's pretty painful that you have that. A lot of people don't talk about it really, but I'm not one for trying to shy away from stuff that's going on. I don't believe that's whatever. But I just think I went out and I don't think I was 100% ready for it. And I think looking at it from various angles, I just think that there will be a time, but it's important. It's important for me to address myself, what's
Sure.
going on for me at this point in my life, what I like creatively,
Right.
versus playing live is nice, it's great,
Right.
but I do find touring all the time more challenging as I get older because of many things. I'm trying to sort since COVID. I mean, COVID for a lot of people, but I was very creative during COVID versus with my family as well, which was difficult still because I look at it like there was Shane Napalm out there and there's Shane here,
Right.
and various Shanes basically,
Of
um,
course.
and which one do you choose at the right time, and I suppose, and so this after this last kind of thing for me with the Melbourne tour where I was lasted about 3 weeks and I just kind of fell off the wagon. I had to come back. Well, there was no and reassess, and I thought, well, that's just interesting because not even Dark Sky, which is very much an extension of where I am mentally or soul,
Right.
what couldn't something just clicked, and I said, this is not a good space for me to be in, No one's particular fault at all. It's just that something happened, and I'm like, well, this is not good. So I need to address this,
Sure.
And I've had a lot of support from Napalm, the boys, particularly, of course, beyond massive support, and for a lot of my friends, everyone, you included, it's always helps you become a little bit stronger, and yeah, and I think it's for reasons. I mean, it depends. There's different. You can look at it from the from an AA point of view, or we can look at it from a Jungian point of view, or wherever. It's
Sure.
happened. These things happen for reasons, and it's really about trying to sort your soul out, or try to become the most authentic version of you can be.
Right.
That's where I'm at, really. And how I balance it all to move forward in the future. And not
Sure.
end up doing something, something stupid happening, because I'm not the first, I won't be the last. It's just the heavy metals. It could be the entertainment industry, the whole everything is like. I mean, it's interesting. I met some people who are just in the hotel business, or they do this, and they fall play to the same kind of pressures that we all do, because it's just getting through life, etc., and how you deal with anxiety. So I mean, I think the boys have got some stuff coming up this year. Not too much, which I won't be there for that.
Right.
Really, or maybe, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But probably next year we'll see how things are.
I was going to say, do you see, and this is just me, but do you think maybe at some point, do you see yourself basically stepping away from everything, especially Napalm? Not that they are a bad influence, that maybe it's just falling into that same routine when you're out there with those guys because it's what you always did before.
I think. I mean, I'm currently writing the new Napalm album.
Right.
Finally,
Right.
I mean, based on stuff that I've had for a few years, which I always tend to. So there's always I'm always there with Napalm. I just don't know how much the
Touring.
life.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with walking away from the touring. I mean, obviously, everyone knows. I mean, if you're writing the Napalm stuff, then but I mean, it's the touring part that seems to be kind of the thing that always gets you.
It can do. It's how you never navigate navigate that world, really. So that's kind of where I'm sort of at the moment, and I think it might be a case of just dipping in and out from
Yeah,
time
I
to
mean,
time.
it's tough. Look, people don't, I mean, people, they have this kind of dream world of what it's like to be a rock star or a touring musician and all that, but people don't realize that, I mean, basically it's 23 hours a day of just basically finding something to do with yourself. It's 1 hour a day of being on stage, and it's 23 hours a day of just basically finding something to do with yourself. And sometimes, that's the worst part because that's when the demons come out, right?
But it can do. I mean, I can keep myself fairly busy, but it only takes one or 2 days of just being, just thinking you can do stuff that you can't do anymore.
Right.
It's learning to deal with that, really,
Yeah. Yeah.
and make the right choices and stuff like that. And for me, yeah, it's just a bit of a growing period. I think really is what I'm addressing. Um, and yeah, I mean, I enjoy the shows a lot. It's traveling that really gets to me sometimes. It never used to, but it does later. Just simple stuff like just getting older, back pains, things like this. But I'm trying to address a few injuries. It's like 5,000 gigs of doing this is taking its toll a little bit, I suppose.
Of
Um,
course.
so I think it's just definitely at the moment for sure, just taking stock of everything and getting myself on a bit of a level. I enjoy the creative side of stuff. I like. I mean, I've been recording some new Napalm tracks out. I just have a little studio at home, and very roughly. So yeah, I enjoy doing that really. And the constant touring is getting a bit tough at the moment for me. That may change. I don't know. I'm in a situation where my daughter's 12, going to be 12, my son's 7, so almost, and it was like you go away for a bit, and then you come back and you kind of feel like you're an alien for about 3 to 4 weeks, and
Sure.
then it's time to go again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's like I'm aware of being there's elements of me I'm not happy about if I'm at home.
Right.
I may be known as one person, but then there's also this side of me which I don't like, and that's something I'm working on.
Yeah.
And I think, and just it's really important that I give my family the best version I can of me.
Yeah.
So it's filtering out some of that.
Sure. No, I mean, that's what I've been doing. I mean, I've been reading a lot lately about basically, fixing myself because I find myself getting not aggressive. I'm not an aggressive person, but I get grumpy, and I mean, I get grumpy for stupid fucking reasons, and then my problem is once I get grumpy, then I'm grumpy the whole fucking day, and then everyone around me, basically
Mm.
suffers from it, you know.
But yeah, well, I see. It's not. It's a good thing to. It's hard to look at yourself and go, "Hold on a minute. Let's have
Yep.
this. Let me have a look at this and go." Well, actually, I won't take responsibility for 100% of it, but I'm a good part of it.
Yep.
So okay, let me look at that and go right. Well,
Yeah.
and, you try and fix yourself as best you can. You try and look at that and think about it, address it. But this is the times I have to say, hold on a minute, that's wrong too. You've got to stand up for yourself. It's
Sure,
hard to
of
back,
course. Yeah.
but these are important steps to try and to be a better version of yourself, and especially if you have kids and stuff like that. I mean, I think, well, anyway, it doesn't matter if you have kids. It's important to do anything regardless. But certainly, I can see my daughter gets angry. I'm like, oh dear, she's got dad's temper there a little bit. Oh dear. And then there's a bit of that, and it's just like, well, that's inevitable. These things are going to happen, but
Of
you know,
course. Yeah, no, my daughter's turning 20 and she is 100% me. And it's sometimes I'm just like, oh no, I did that to her. That's my fault.
so yeah, it's a complete fucking head. It's a head fuck, really. It's just like Jesus Christ. What do you do? But this is what it is. This is what they call life, or something like that. And to balance that, I mean, I'm very blessed and lucky to be in a situation where I got lots of support, and
Right.
I don't have to jump to a job when I get it straight up, which is good. And sometimes I'll keep myself busy, but yeah, I mean, I think it's just for me right now. I've got to this after this last time for me was a bit of a knock on the head. It was like meh, This is like, well, it just came from nowhere. Kind of, it was. I'd had a couple of dreams. I remember talking to Johnny, our guitarist, who's a bit of a youngin like me, and we were like, that dream that says it's all is not well in the house,
Right.
And
Yeah, no, of course.
so it was interesting. I'm not whether you think about dream therapy or whatever, but I had this dream where I was in the house, this big building, all the pipes were bursting.
Oh, no shit.
And so, from what I believe,
Yes.
that's like you know,
Yep.
it's all is not well at the station, so to speak. And then lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, I was like, this is, it was just not good. Very worrying for everybody, me,
Yeah.
the families, and I was like, nah, this is not good. And let's be honest, I mean, I guess some people keep it under wraps, but I say what I say, and that's it.
Yeah, and I
Um,
mean, I think it helps. And honestly, I mean, I know it's not easy, but I think, look, we both know there are other people. You're not the only one that goes through that, and
no, no, not at all. So it's important to open up. I think, really, in my opinion, anyway. So yeah, just musically, just chugging away. Lots of interesting things going on. I mean, enjoying being at home, really.
right. Yeah. So what's your normal day like at home? I mean, like, so obviously right now you don't have the family there. So is it basically just get up, do what you're gonna do, then hit the studio?
Sometimes, yeah, yeah. I mean, past few weeks because of the summer festivals, been the festivals going on, and just I've just been well, I'm not so much me, but attempting to sort my family home out. I'm at the Napalm house. Me and Danny have this house. We're lucky to have this house together from the old days.
Right.
But yeah, it could come down. I could just put the computer on and just sort of mess around with some stuff. And sometimes I get this pressing urge that I have to do something new, musical. But I've got a couple of albums I'm still sitting on, which one comes out in November, with a new Dark Sky Burial album, which is very different from the other stuff. Is more vocal driven.
Sure.
It's with my friend Carl Stokes, who was part of Cancer for
Answer.
years,
Sure.
who became a Jungian therapist. So he came up with the title of the album, which is called The Sacred Neurotic, which is very
Yeah.
interesting.
That's awesome.
very interesting, and it's very because originally it was going to be a split between his project and mine, and we just pulled it together. We
Right.
basically played on everything together. He sings too. His voice is very really good,
Yeah.
very very great voice he has, and so that's going to be something different for people that are used to the more skinny puppy esque kind of vibe. It goes off again.
Right.
So I'm really happy with that. There's one he uses one quote on there on one of the tracks. I'm not going to get into it too heavy, but I listened to it. I'm going. This was about 3 years ago. We recorded this in COVID. It was that quote there. That's about me, isn't it? And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, it only just dawned on me now." And he said, "Yeah, well, I'm not going to tell you. Well, you have to find this out for yourself." I'm like, "Fuck it." Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, that's exactly about me, isn't it?" You know, the philosophical angle on there. So it's very interesting. It's good having a friend who's well versed in Jungian therapy because you can go, "Okay, so what's going on here?" And he'll tell you. And you go, "Hmm." And you have to take a week to process it and see if you agree with him. But so I just records, music, cat at the moment, feeding cats, realizing that I'm too generous and I'm getting taken advantage of.
From your cats.
Well, yeah, they just because they get. I treat them. I won't say better. My wife's very strict in a good way. I'm like, here you go, and they go, well, I don't like this anymore. This is not good enough. I want a different type of cat food. I'm like, you fuckers, you were fine for 3 days and now you change your mind. It's like you've got my one cat lost his eye a few months ago, and he's just there going. I know you just woke up, but at this moment you already you have to come down and feed me now.
Yes. I love it.
No, give me 2 minutes. You know.
No. Dude, that's the best thing about cats. And look, if people aren't cat people, I'm sorry for you. But dude, cats, they can be so fucking demanding. And
Beyond. It's just like I'm like Jesus Christ. I'm like they're looking at me. I'm like, you realize I'm trying to wake up here, Although
no.
I'm sleeping, I hear this. Oh, they're about to fucking one of them's going to throw up on me. And I get up in the middle of the night and I'm looking around. He's there, like coughing. I'm like, downstairs you go. You're finally attuned to the. One of our cats only comes out at night. Got a little bell. It's just like it's pretty insane, but in a good way. So there's that. Kids are back from their on holiday in Japan, so they come back next week.
Right.
Then it'll be up in the morning, take my son to school, and then come back and sometimes you take a deep sigh and you go, "How do I get through the day today?" Some days you don't. Some days it's all right. Simplest things can annoy us. I think, can't they? Or not annoy us, but they can seem like a mountain sometimes.
Yep. I mean, that's what I always say is, with me, it's never the big stuff. It's always the small things.
Yeah,
And
it tends to be.
and
It
those
can be. Yeah.
no, go ahead. Those small things are the things that just end up. It just climbs and climbs and climbs, and I'm just like, really? I'm like, it was all came from that one little thing, but like you said, we all working on each other to try to, ourselves trying to build a better us, and I mean, for some people it's easier than others, and for some people it's a lifelong battle, and the most important thing is that and Dave always says that to me, and being around the boys, it's always the same, is that you got to have people that you can depend on that'll be there no matter what. And if you have those people that aren't there to judge you and are going to be honest with you, that's what you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need that. You need the honesty, but willing to just listen to you, without
Judging.
without the judging. I think really, all we can do is be there for each other. And certainly for me, I'm I'm more aware of you got. I try always make sure how are you doing? How's it going? Sometimes you can skip that. In this world, we can go. Even you take it for granted that they're all right, and you go, "Oh, by the way, I need to get this."
Right.
You don't mean it that way,
No, 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 no.
but it comes. So now I hold on a second. How are you doing? What's going on? Let's get into some normal sort of dialogue here before you start just unconsciously demanding something. You're not demanding it, but
No.
it's just so try to be aware of the other person. Try not. It's as easy as everyone says it, but you're just trying to live in that moment.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we are today, and that's it.
Yeah. Very,
Well,
very much. very much so.
What's been interesting not touring is like my wife will go, so what have you got to do today? And some days I can find something. I can always come down and grab a guitar and look into the archives and work on that because
Sure,
I'm because for quite a long time it's always been music, and it's always going to be music. But
sure.
you can also distract yourself from other things by that. So some days it's like, well, actually, I'm not. I'm going to sit on this couch and scratch my ass today. That's all I'm going to do, and that'll be that's enough. Just to successfully scratch the bit I can't reach is enough. I mean, I don't. I don't. Stupid as it is, but
No, it's not. And honestly, Shane, sometimes that's what it is. I mean, sometimes you just need to do that one thing that you did good that day, and then that's it, man. You did your one thing and life's good.
I'm terrible at DIY. So if I get something screwed into the wall successfully, I'm like, well, oh,
Oh,
wow, oh, that's it, and you'll hear about it for the next month. But that's it. I can play the bass guitar and write probably 100 albums in a year, but when it comes to like that, screwing something into the wall, Jesus Christ, what happens to the wall falls down?
Yeah. And look, man, I mean, I think that's one thing that Shane is I there's look, you might have your issues and stuff, but there's one thing is, dude, you are prolific when it comes to your music. I mean, I when people look at just everything you've done and everything you do, I don't know how you find not only the time, but the ability to basically uh, do all these different things at once. I mean, I do one thing and I might do two, but I mean, you have so many different things that you're creative with. It's absolutely amazing, man.
Well, thank you. I mean, um, I guess you get better at it, perhaps maybe as you get older, as you go on.
Right.
And I think for sometimes being eclectic musically, you sometimes wonder should you, but I think well, fuck it now. Yeah, if I'm going, if I like something in a particular style, and it's more about just doing what you want. I've been watching again. I rewatched the documentary on the Residents recently, and then the Zapper and
Awesome.
stuff like that. Devo and what they were coming from, and they really just were unafraid. Just
Yep.
they just did what they did. They do what they do, and you know. Even though I'm not the biggest Andy Warhol fan, I always love that quote of like, whilst someone's trying to work out your piece of art, do something else.
Right.
Don't worry about it because you can get bogged down by I don't like that.
Right. Yeah.
That classic. I don't fucking know. So get a life. So yeah. But there we go. I just carry on doing what I do. Anyway.
No, that's good. Hey, really, real quick before I let you go, one thing I gotta ask, dude, you have written so much Napalm stuff. Is it still easy for you to write any of that stuff? Because I mean, dude, you guys have a massive catalog. Do you ever get to the point where you're like, I think I've written this before?
Occasionally, my problem is if I've got riffs hanging been around for a long time, I
Right.
hum them in my head, try to
Yes, I
arrange
got
them.
you. Yep.
And when it's time to record it, I'm going, did we record this already? I don't know. And most of the time, I'm fine. There was
Right.
a there's a riff on one of the Lockup albums that Anton wrote, which is exactly the same as Mitch wrote one on Enemy. I'm like, I've fucking heard this riff before. Like, my God, it's the same riff. But that's kind of interesting because Anton kind of influenced Mitch a little bit from the Pentagram days.
Right, of course. Sure, yeah.
So they have similar styles, those two. My dream was always to get those two guys in a band. In fact, I'll have to do that before I'm 60. I'll put
Wow.
that on the list of things to do.
Listen,
Get Anton and Mitch Harris together on a record. They can play on my Rabbit Decapitator album. Anyway,
wow. That would be brilliant. Well, look, man, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I appreciate you as always, brother, coming on and talking.
no
And
worries.
we will
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
yeah, we'll do this again when we can get Dave on here. And look, man, take care of you and we appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Take care, man. Cheers.